This week in VCT, there are too many rumors for me to even keep track of. VCT Pacific may have possibly dropped the biggest bombshell in VCT history, and the Pacific Ascension winners have been announced. Keyword winners. So let's first start off with the Rumour Mill, and first start off with C9 Rossi, which was leaked by Alejandro and Purist. I like this change. I really, really do. I know Cloud9 pretty sure has two stand-ins right now. I think Vic and I don't know who the other one right now is on top of my head, but I know Vic is one of them. I think I think the other one might be also from more Shopify, I think, but I might be wrong. I really, really like this change. I mean, Rossi, was he maybe dealt a bit unfairly in T1? Possibly. But I think this is still a great change for Cloud9, adding Rossi in. I mean, he brings so much energy to a team, and he's very, very good. I mean, he showed it a bit when he was in T1, so he definitely has the skill to be in a top team. It's just that I guess it depends on if the team wants to work around him. So, and I guess as well if the team also has some great synergy and stuff, then I think Rossi will be really, really good here. So I think this is a great opportunity for Rossi to be coming back to Americas. Next up is from Bruno Povaleri, and it is Furia, Rafa, and Pio. This is a bit interesting. I'm a bit surprised that Pio is looked at as a potential candidate as a coach for Furia. I think the current coach for Furia is Koi, I believe. So I mean, it's all right. I mean, Pio was all right on Loud. Like, yeah, he helped this team make it to Madrid, but that's kind of what they really did. And the rest of the season, it was a massive struggle for Loud. As for Rafa, I think he was rumored to potentially join Loud, I believe, before they decided to go with Pancada. So I don't mind the change. I think it's great that Furia looking to get a young player, Rafa, and it'll be very exciting to see how Furia really implements Rafa into the lineup. As for Pure, it's questionable. I thought maybe keep Koi maybe in the coaching staff, but I mean, I'm not too sure. I mean, I guess they may be looking at experience and achievements, and Pio definitely has that with coaching Lau to making it to Masters Madrid. But I mean, that's all we've really done. I think it was actually what coach? I can't remember what coach he was on in Tier 2. It might have been the Union, I believe. So that's also something as well that Furia could look at. But yeah, but it's still a very interesting change there. Next up is Leviathan Demon 1. Was rumored by Lembo. Wow. I mean, that's definitely a player to replace Aspas with. Demon 1. It might maybe be the next best option, to be fair. But, I mean, Demon 1, he just struggled this year. I mean, there's no denying that he struggled on NRG, and obviously he got benched as well on that team. So Finesse and Som came back and tried to help this team, but they were kind of already on a burning bridge. So yeah, it was a very disappointing result for NRG. I think I've said this many, many, many times, but it's good that Level looking into Demon 1, but it also shows as well that Hard Leviathan really lacked a LATAM team, because I think like the possible roster will be what like Demon 1, Com, Tex, there was another American player, I'm pretty sure, and then King as like the sole LATAM player. Mm, I mean, if you want a team that represents your region, none of Leviathan is really the correct team if you want to represent LATAM. But I mean, I guess so. I mean, I can tell that they are trying to build a super team, which I'm all for it. But I mean, it's I'm not too sure how Team One could go because he struggled last year. Obviously, he was phenomenal last year. He was all right this year. So that's where I'm not too sure which Demon One we are gonna get. Next up is MIBR. Gervin and Rich will be leaving that team. This was rumored by Bruno Povaleri once again. Gervin into the lineup is pretty good. He is a young player who used to play for the Union and Hero Base, I believe. And Hero Base, they were all right in Brazil. I think they were very, very competitive. I think they were a top 4, top 3 team in my opinion. So I think Gervin coming into MIBR is very, very good. As for Rich, I thought they're gonna keep Rich, I'll be honest. I mean, he's another young player. He joined the team very, very late on into the season during stage 2, where obviously they're very interesting of Shazam, and I can't remember who the other player was, but subbed in for MIBR when Rich and Paula, I believe, didn't have visas. So I'm a bit surprised that MIBR have already given up on Rich. I thought Rich was kind of just alright, but it was also his first time playing in the tier 1 scene, and he didn't really get a proper opportunity. So I would like for Rich to maybe stay back. If not, he might maybe go to another team, but I'm not too sure. As for Gervin, I'm interested to see how this goes. I don't know what the entire MIBR roster looks like though, which doesn't really help me. But it should possibly be good. Maybe better than maybe better than this year. I'm not too sure because MIBR are a very struggling team. For the NRG fans, you can thank Alandro for this, as it is rumored that NRG Mada will be a thing. I can see NRG are looking to some pretty young talent in the North American scene, which is very, very, very good. Mada, he has, I think, been in the scene for quite a while now, I believe. I think I've known him since maybe 2022. So I think he has been in the scene for quite a while, but I might be wrong. I know that he used to play for Moist X Shopify, so I think majority of like NRG's players are gonna come from Moist X Shopify, I believe. Because I mean, M80, we don't know what's happening with them. All we know is that Xander, he's rumored to be going 100 Thieves, which is now looking more likely now. But I'm not too sure. Uh, but this is a really good change show for NRG because it's much, much needed. They have like I said, they were not good this year. I think it's a very much of a given. But having Mada in, and I can't remember who the other player that was rumored to be joining NRG. I think it's I can't remember right now. It's another North American player who I think used to play for Moisex Shopify. Coming into the lineup is very, very good for this team. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Sentinels have also been rumored to be getting Narrate and Bang thanks to Alejandro. I really, really like this change. I've seen quite a lot of people doubting Bang for some reason. I mean, I think he's still really, really good. Like, I don't know why they have like they like people's expectations of Bang are in an all-time low. I don't know why. I mean, the kid is still really, really good on Valorant, and he's still a pretty young prospect in the controller role. I mean, he can still pull off one of the most craziest clutches in the world. As for Narrate, I think this is a great change. I mean, having Zekin and Narrate in the same team is deadly. I'm not too sure who's going to be the full duelist player. I can't remember who it was in Carmine Core. I think Martin was the full duelist player, while Narrate was the flex. So I think that's how it's gonna work out again. But I mean, but in I guess role wise, if we talk about roles and Sentinels, it's a bit weird because we obviously have Zelsis as the initiator. You have John QT as a Sentinel. I mean, I'm actually well, now thinking about it, it's actually pretty good. But I still quite like this roster, and is I think this Sentinels roster might maybe keep up where, or I should say maybe where left off where this year's Sentinels was. Very, very competitive, making it to international events, potentially as well winning these international events. This Sentinels team might be very, very good. The only Chinese rumor I have is from Liquidpedia, because for some reason it doesn't actually have a reference, but it is Titan Esports Club Haodong. What? When I saw this on Wikipedia, I was confused, and I don't know if this is real because yeah, I can understand how Dong wanted to play, but I thought him as a coach was very, very impressive either way, like helping out Muggle and the coaching stuff at Edward Gaming. That's why they were so competitive and how they won champs. So I thought Haldong was gonna stay with his team, but let's just say theoretically it actually happens. What is that? Okay, what is gonna happen? Because I'm guessing Haodong will be the new IGL. Alba was the IGL for this year for TEC. Are they really gonna get rid of AC, who is the controller player for TEC? I don't know. I think Kawaii is a sentinel. Arbo is a duelist. RB's a flex. And I can't remember who the other player is right now, on top of my head. I can't remember right now. But either way, this is such a weird roster change, but at the same time, Titan Esports Club entire roster is fucking weird. So I won't be surprised if this does happen, but it's still a weird change. Another Alejandro rumor, this time now from EMEA, and it is Fnatic Kajak. I like this. I mean, if they want to replace Durka with someone, Kajak. That's all I'll say. I mean, Kajak is a Polish player who obviously he's well known playing for Apex. I love this change. And even though, yeah, it's disappointing that Kayak is leaving the team that basically that he helped to make it into Ascension, sorry, to Tier 1, I still think Kayak is good enough to stay in Tier 1 for the long haul. And for Fnatic to pick him up, this is a great change. Because I mean, both him and Dirk are very similar. Both of them I think need a lot of resources, and both are very good on the duelist role. So I think it makes sense that Fnatic will sign Kayak. He is the hottest prospect on the market right now, and it makes sense. It's absolutely picture perfect for Fnatic. Another team which is making moves is Koi Flyer. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this is the first time that Flyer has gotten EMEA opportunities. I think I might be wrong, but I think um I think Flyer has gotten opportunities in EMEA I think last year even, so I might easily be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. But if this is the case, great change. I mean, Koi needed new changes, and I'm glad they're making these important changes because fucking hell, this season was horrendous for this team. From being competitive and making its way into the play-ins and potentially a spot in the playoffs and kickoff, tonight to winning only one game between stage 1 and 2. In both stages, they only won once. It was mainly their record. So combining all like the results from stage 1, stage 2, they only won once. It was pretty disappointing there for Koi. But having Flyer in a proper IGL, very good. I'm very excited to see where this goes. Next up is Gentlemate Zippin. Thanks to Alejandro. I love this change as well. I can tell that Gentlemates are like wanting a new team. I mean, we knew that this year Gentlemates are going to struggle, and we didn't know a lot about Gentlemates coming into this year, just because yes, they made it from Ascension, but they didn't play in any off-season event. But now that we've kind of get to know this team a bit. They struggled. I thought maybe their best players maybe Cadavra. Takas was pretty good though for this team. But now having Gentlemates are having like Robbie BK in, Gukt and now Ziphead in the lineup. Oh, it's gonna be really good. I'm excited to see how this Gentlemates team goes, because this team might be very competitive. Another one now from Purist is Navi Happy, the former coach of M80. I also like to change as well. I think there was something like Happy might maybe be going to Gentlemates. I think I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I saw or something. And yeah, it was a bit of a missed opportunity for Gentlemates, I'll be honest. I mean, having a star French coach of Happy, who's also well known in the esports scene. Yes, I think this is also the same Happy that got that 4K in CS on the Deagle. So I think this is the same Happy. I like this change. Navi is much needed as well for a coach itself. I don't think Latix was good enough as a coach for this team, I should say. So this is a great change and a great start for Navi. I think obviously the other rumors that Hero might be joining this team, which is also great. Not too sure about the others, but this is a great change for Navi. Next up is Team Liquid Kamek, also from Alejandro. Once again, pretty good. Yeah, this Team Liquid team really struggled this year. They didn't make it to any international event. They have been mainly very quiet, considering this team was comprised of Apex players added with Yampi and Nats. So you could say it was a very disappointing result for Team Liquid. But having Kamek in is great. He used to play for Fnatic for a bit. He most recently played for Job Life, who obviously is well known for that whole controversy there. But it's still a great great shout for Team Liquid. I mean, having Kamek in, it's great. So I'm excited to see how Kamek goes on Team Liquid if that does happen. Because Team Liquid definitely needs to make changes. And the final EMEA rumor is from Ari, as it is Vitality Yampi. Uh, man, I mean, let me talk about this Vitality roster as we know. So Yampi, safe, Trex, who else right now? Durka, that's another rumor, and less. Wow. I'm saying this right now. Team Vitality are the favorites coming into this event, like coming to next year. Like if you have Durka, Safe, Less in on the same team, you're just bound to win everything. Yampi also very very good. Trex maybe the most underrated player in that region. I mean, no one talks about the guy, but he just quietly is so consistent. I'm so excited. Like if this does happen, have a Yampi in. I think as the new IGL. I think the thing is that if Yampi doesn't join, then I think Safe will be the IGL, and I think Durka will be taking that duelist role off Safe. I don't think I've actually took. I don't think I've actually talked about Vitality Durka in depth. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but that's also a rumor as well. But if Yampi does join, I think this entire Team Vitality team, is stacked. They are looking to destroy the EMEA region. And to round up with some Pacific rumors, first with Destination Focus Me, as they are rumored to be gaining Art, Gayen, Akami, and Jingbung. This is from Tanmei. This is a good change. I think the thing is that May and Sayers will be staying on with the team, but everyone else are probably gone. I think having Arden is great. I can't remember what the nickname the Japanese community have given him. It's like something ninja. I can't remember what it is, but all I know about Art is that he always uses the Odin. He is notorious for using the Odin. So and Art as well. He's a great IGL. He's a very underrated Japanese IGL in my opinion. I watched him a bit when he was on Jaded, and he was very very impressive. So I'm very excited about that. Jingbung, he used to play for Sengoku Gaming, and Sengoku were also very very impressive. This is also a great opportunity for Jingbung. Akami, I don't have a lot about him. I can't actually remember what team he was on, but I'm pretty sure he is pretty good. But the player who I have nothing on is Gian? Guyan? I'm not too sure. I even searched him up on VLR and it's nothing. Wikipedia, nothing. There is nothing about this guy. But my guess is that this player is someone that DFM found on maybe a ranked game, like how Karen was found on Genji, or maybe from tryouts most likely, and they just love him so much that he needs to be on this team. It's crazy that this guy does not have a single VLR, a single Wikipedia page, and is look to be signing with DFM. I mean, that's definitely something. But as a whole, this team so far for DFM is looking very, very good. And the final rumor, also from Tanmei, is Zeta, XDL, Sayota, and CLZ. I think having CLZ in the lineup for Zeta Division is maybe the best opportunities. CLZ is maybe the best Japanese IGL that they have. Yes, you can maybe say JoJo, but JoJo is not Japanese, he's Korean, so I mean, there's that. XDL, he used to play for this team, I believe. He was a stand-in, I think, when he was a deaf. I'm pretty sure he was sick. I might be wrong, but I don't think XDL even actually got the chance to play, but I might be wrong. Sayota is a very exciting player. I think these three players also came from Fenway, I believe. So I guess maybe some connection there. I think Zeta Division might maybe sign Fenway as their academy team, we'll say. But I mean, this is great. I mean, Zeta, they are looking for, I should say, looking at other Japanese prospects. They needed someone to replace Lazarus Shoes. I think CLZ is the perfect choice. And then Sayota and XCL, two young players as well, mixed in with Depp and Sugar Zero with the veteranship. Very, very good. So that's it now with the rumor mill. Let's have a look now at the news throughout the week. And maybe the biggest bombshell in VCT history is that Bleed are out and Boom Esports are in. I mean, what the fuck? When I saw that, I was like, wow. Yeah, Riot, they are not fucking around. I mean, if they think that you are not good enough to be in partnership, they will gladly tell you. But I think there's been some things that like behind the scenes that Riot were not happy with. I'm just gonna just read out the announcement that really started this. After careful consideration, Riot Games has made the decision to remove Bleed Esports from the Valorant Champions Tour and VCT Pacific. Bleed Esports was terminated due to its failure to comply with critical reporting requirements and other key obligations under the Team Participation Agreement, the TPA. Removal of a team from the Riot Games esports ecosystem is not something we take lightly. However, due to persistent operational failures, Bleed Esports will no longer participate in VCT Pacific to protect the best interests of the players and the league. The individual players affected were informed of the decision as soon as it was made to allow them to explore other opportunities as quickly as possible. In line with our commitment to merit-based qualification, Boom Esports, the runner-up from Ascension Pacific 2024, will be promoted into the vacant slot. This change does not affect 2025 formats for VCT Pacific. The league will go forward with 12 teams as planned. And this is what Bleed Esports had to say about this. This morning, we were informed of Riot's decision to terminate our team partnership agreement and to remove us from VCT Pacific. We are deeply disappointed by this outcome, but we respect Riot's decision and will continue to cooperate with them throughout this process. Over the last year, we have been in constant communication with Riot to address issues related to our deliverables in the TPA. Unfortunately, we were unable to rectify these issues in a satisfactory manner, and the decision was made to terminate our participation in VCT Pacific. We will take some time to process and evaluate our organization's position within the title. Meanwhile, we will continue to support our Valorant players and staff during the situation as we remain eligible for challenges. Now, I do remember I saw a tweet from Legia which kind of blew up that the team wasn't known until like 30 minutes before this announcement. Wouldn't it be better for you to tell them maybe a month or two before the announcement, just so at least they have a bit more time to actually get stuff done? Because you have to feel for the Bleed players. It's not their fault, it's the management's fault, most likely. We don't know what the exact reason was, obviously, of why Bleed was out. We know it has to be something behind the scenes. I think I saw an article as well that they didn't inform Riot that Bleed was going to participate in some CS event. I highly doubt that's the reason, but I'm not too sure, mate. Like I remember, like there was a rumor that Aspas got like a multi-million contract or something from Bleed Esports. It was like Bleed had the money. It's just that I guess the management and the operations behind the scenes of this team is dreadful, and I guess Riot did not see that as well. Well, I should say, didn't like that and kicked him out. As for Boom Esports, this is a massive surprise for this entire organization. From losing in front of their home crowd to now being in partnership just like that is something we weren't expecting. But I'm very happy that Boom is in because I mean, RRQ, yeah, you could say they're very, very popular, but I mean, let's just say they weren't really the most well-liked team when partnership started because of the whole ordeal of Riot giving them a warning because they didn't comply with adding Indonesian players into their roster because they were fully Filipino roster and a lot of questions on that. But having Boomin, who's a proper Indonesian org and will sign only Indonesian players, is a great sign. So I'm very happy that Boomin is in because I mean they're also very very popular. I mean they made it to champs. I'm pretty sure in 2022, and yes, they are mainly well known for that famous fracture incident. But at least they still made it to an international event, unlike RIQ, who has still yet to make an international debut in Masters or Champs. So that's the problem that I have with RIQ. But I'm glad that Boom is in. It sucks for Bleed, but I do hope that they do stay. I hope that this is not the reason why Bleed will leave Valorant as a whole because of this whole situation. I hope that's not the case. But if they do go back to challenges, how's that going to work? Because if you don't know, Riot have basically blew up the challenger scene in Pacific, and they've gone back to this stupid thing of having, I think, all the Southeast Asian regions combining into one region, like Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines. Who else is there? I can't remember who else is there, but it's all the Southeast Asia countries that are now in one region. Like it's not like this year where there's like Thailand for one region, and then Vietnam, Hong Kong, Taiwan. All those regions are now in one region as a whole. So it's like, do I really like that? I don't, because then it creates like less opportunities for teams to look for other players, and I mean it's just not good in my opinion. I'm not a fan of it whatsoever. Because I mean, what the hell's gonna happen with Ascension? Like Ascension is basically that, where all the teams that comes from each region will be playing against each other. What's gonna happen with that? Like, it. I don't know what Riot were thinking when they made that decision. It's stupid. I don't like it as a whole. But anyway, back to Boom Esports. I'm very happy for them. As for Bleed, it sucks for them, but maybe it was well deserved because of what was happening behind the scenes. Now back to our regular types of news. First up with Bang, as he has left the 100 Thieves officially. Rumour, he'd be going to Sentinels. Basically, I think like I said, I think it was last episode, might be wrong. Whoever doesn't get Xander will get Bang. I think that's how I see it. So it's good that Bang it now has a new home at Sentinels. I know a lot of people are happy about that and they want Xander and not Bang, but give Bang some time and he will prove everyone wrong. Next up is Jogmo, as he has left Evil Geniuses. Rumor is that he'll be going to G2. Wow. I mean, yeah, it sucks now because everyone from that roster except for like Potter have left the team. From that 2023 champions roster, it's just Potter remaining. It's just quite depressing for what happened in this like what happened in, with EG of them looking like that they were going to basically leave the entire esports scene and selling their League of Legends spot to them contract jails. It's like, oh, I mean, this is what the organization now has to do now. So it sucks for everyone else, I'll be honest, in EG, but Jogmo, we know that he'll be going to G2. Happy for him. Now for some players who are restricted free agents. First off, a Shadow, who's a restricted free agent for Koi. I mean, for someone who was a very underrated player in Apex last year coming into Koi, I thought he was going to do really, really, really well. I think he was the IGL as well for the team, so it's a bit of a struggle for uh for Koi, but maybe it was a good idea for Shadow to be a free agent to look elsewhere because Shadow, he was all right, not the best, but he was all right on Koi. I think it was mainly Camo who was popping off. I think I saw an article, I think by Rocket. So, also Rocket, welcome back. Happy that you're back, buddy. Not too sure about but there was an article that I think Rocket released about Camo. I'm pretty sure it was Camo looking like he might not get other opportunities, or maybe it was another player. I can't remember which player it was, but I'll leave a link to the article down in the description below. It's a pretty interesting read. But having Shadow gone, I don't know if he's gonna find a home. I'll be honest. I'll be very surprised if he does. If he doesn't, might most likely go back down to tier 2. And the final news is that Neth, Anthem, and Medusa are restricted free agents from DFM. We kind of knew this was gonna happen. I mean, May, he signed like a 4-year deal. I think his contract ends in 2027, so he's gonna be there for quite a while. Sears, I think he knows Northern Lights or Malfovia. I think he knew one of the coaches previously, and that's why he's on the team. So I don't think they're really gonna I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. But I mean, I won't be surprised if they do because Sears was not good in my opinion. He was not good. But now with the rumor that Art, Guillaume, Akami, and Jingbung are joining the team, I mean the writing is on the wall. For these 3 players out of DFM, most likely for these 3 go back down to Japan tier 2. That's where I think both are going to be. And finally, let's talk about the Ascension Pacific Grand Finals and the winners, quote unquote. Same prize of gaming. Yes, they won against Boom, but it didn't matter because Boom is still in. Persia was MVP, and I just want to talk about this grand final first. This might have been the best grand final out of all of the Ascension tournaments. I mean, Americas, yeah, they were alright. It was I mean in 2 games, it was alright. I'm pretty sure it was like a 3-1 pretty sure for 2 game. There was 3-0s for China, and EMEA was actually really close, but this one might top the EMEA Grand Finals. I mean, this entire match, the atmosphere was crazy. It ended with a sliver, just a tiny bit for Simprasa Gaming to win because who was it? Was it Bajur X? I'm pretty sure he was defusing, and he lost by this much. It was that much that Boom Esports lost in the grand final, and Simprasa Gaming was in until bleed happened. But I think Simprasa Gaming as a whole was phenomenal in this tournament. The problem that I have with this team is what changes are they going to make? I don't think they're going to make any changes. I think they're just going to go with the gentle maids route and not make any changes. I won't be surprised if they do. I think they've actually already announced that one of the coaches is gone, so there we go. There's a change there for Simprasa Gaming. But I don't think they're going to make any more changes than that. But the issue I also have is what fan base does Simprasa Gaming have? I mean, here's the thing. DRX, they have a massive fan base because they have been in they've been in Valorant for a while now. They used to be called Vision Strikers. Genji, T1, both of these orgs have been in other esports events, games, Overwatch, CS, League of Legends. Like games that everyone is familiar with and they know him. But Simprasa Gaming, the only game that Simprasa Gaming is also part of is Overwatch. They don't really have a fan base. And that's why I'm like, because after the bleed thing happened, I was thinking, what does Simprasa Gaming really provide for Riot? I mean, they're an org that is only well known in Overwatch. We don't really know where they're from in Korea. Maybe it's not been confirmed, but I'm not too sure. Like, what do they really bring to the table that Riot can use? I mean, maybe management or players, definitely. I mean, Persia and Danby, both of them are phenomenal. But I just don't know what Simprasa Gaming brings to the table. Obviously, Simprasa Gaming are phenomenal, but I'm just worried after the bleed incident. I mean, if they fault, then are they the next team to be on the chopping block? And the next one is Boom Esports. They did lose into the grand final, but they still ascended to partnerships. So it doesn't matter. Famous was my MVP, and I'm saying, I mean, Boom Esports was maybe the best challenge for Simprasa Gaming. I mean, Simprasa Gaming went through this entire tournament not dropping a single map. And then coming to the grand final, Boom Esports, they were just locked in and when they were on fire. Famous especially, he was amazing. ZSPW, the IGO, I'm pretty sure for this team, was also amazing. NC Slasher as well. Everyone from this team was amazing. Shiro had some amazing moments for this team. Berger X as well. So it's not like this team are slouches. They are a very, very good team. There's a reason why that they made the champs in 2022 because they are that fucking good. And now that they're now in partnership, I mean, Boom Esports could be pretty good. They actually could be a very, very good team. They maybe won't fall to like Bleed Esports will do, or potentially DFM. They are a solid team. I guess I'll be a bit surprised if they do make a change to their roster because I don't think you should really make any changes. I think the only change you should make is maybe adding one more player just in case one of their players gets sick, just so they don't have to deal with emergency sub of a coach or something. But I still think Boom did phenomenal in this game. And even though they did lose, they should still pat themselves on the back because they still made it to partnership just like that. No fault of their own, but they still made the partnership either way. And that is really about it for me of this episode of This Week in VCT. Now, I do want to say that next week's episode of VCT, we will be talking about contracts. So get your pens ready because contracts is going to be a lengthy talk to obviously discuss about. So now, guys, to comment, subscribe, would really help me, especially on this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of this week in VCT, or even in another episode that I make as well on this channel. Take care. Goodbye.